Welcome live to another live edition of An Earful, and I'm your host, Lemuel Appling. What an exciting time to be alive. What an exciting time to be in the land of the living. I'm telling you, a lot of people didn't wake up this morning, and you did. So that's a reason to thank God. And guess what? It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Wow. What another exciting day to celebrate men who have stepped up to the plate and has taken care of their responsibility and is taking care of their responsibility. We celebrate you today. My father, all the way out there in Long Beach, California, I salute you, sir. Happy Father's Day. Listen, all of the fathers, we're praying for you and we're thanking God for you, for what you've been doing and what you're going to do in the future. Raising your family, steering them in the right direction, providing for them, protecting them. Guess what? That's why we are in God's image and his likeness. We're just like him. And we are children of the Most High God. And we look to him as an example of how a father is supposed to be. And what does he do? He provides for us. He protects us. And he's always there for us, comforting us, disciplining us, and helping us grow and mature and develop. And that's what it's all about. Listen, today's, we have an exciting show like always. You know why? Because excitement is contagious. There's so many people doing the right thing, and we want to expose those people and let the world know that it's still good people out here. I'm telling you, it's a lot of good in the hood. And it's like always, each and every week, we're looking for a call from you because we want to hear from you about the good in the hood. So give us a call at 313-868-0342 or 313-868-0351 and let us know what's going on around you or what you have done. If you've done some good in the hood, then we need you to give us a call and let us know what you are doing. Because guess what? When you tell people about the good that's going on, it catch on like a wildfire. And everyone wants to be a part of the good. Well, that's our show, and we want you to know that we're here for you, and we want to expose you to an earful of some good news, because I'm telling you, that's news you can use. Well, we're going to take a small commercial break, and we're going to come right back. We have a special guest, a family member, and I believe in family first. And everything I do, I always try to include my family and friends. Well, we're going to take a small commercial break right here on an earful, and we'll be right back getting into the show. We ask you to stick and stay, because we got a lot of more show on the way right here on an earful, and I'm your host. Who am I? I'm your host, Lemuel Appling. We see you in a minute.
If there was ever a man who was generous, gracious, and good, that was my dad.
From the entire TV 33 and WHPR family, Happy Father's Day. Now you can watch WHPR TV 33 on Fire Stick. Catch all of your favorites. Stay informed. Don't miss a minute of your favorite talk shows. Call, text, tweet, post. WHPR TV 33 is worldwide on Fire Stick. For more information, go to FirestickTVNetwork.com or call us at 313-868-6612. WHPR TV 33, a Watkins Broadcasting Company.
And we're back live right here on An Earful. And listen, like I told you, we have a great show for you today. I want to introduce my family member, my friend, my buddy, none other than the former president of the Saginaw Orchestra. And he does so much more in the community and the neighborhood, from Detroit to Saginaw, just all over Michigan. He's the Michigan man. None other than my brother, my cousin, Samuel Tillman. Come on, give him a hand as he's here with us today. Hey, cousin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so, you know, it's Father's Day. So I know you probably want to give a shout out to your dad and say Happy Father's Day. Go ahead, take that time.
Absolutely. Shout out to my father, the Reverend Dr. Isaiah Tillman Jr., pastor of the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. And shout out to every other father out there and those playing the father role.
That's what's up. It's Father's Day, y'all. And for some reason, on Father's Day, we don't see as much excitement as it is for Mother's Day, but we got to change the narrative. We got to celebrate fathers who are taking up their responsibility, raising their children, providing for their families, setting the example for the men, the young men that they're raising into men. So we celebrate you. We salute you today, all the fathers everywhere. So also, we praying for those who have lost a father and experiencing this Father's Day without their father. Our prayers go out to you, and we pray that God sends a mentor, sends a leader in your life, not to take your father's place, but to help continue to lead you and guide you along the way. What you think about that, cousin? Hold on, we got a call. Let's take this call. Caller, you on the air? What's your name? Hello, caller? Oh, we lost you. Please call right back. Whoever that caller was, call right back. I wasn't looking down to see that you called, but please call right back so we can get you on the air. All right. But yeah, we was talking about, those who have lost their fathers and things of that nature. And, we praying for them.
Absolutely.
And you said something significant this week, cousin. You were saying that, I think you quoted a line of J. Cole.
Yeah.
When he was saying that, how did that go?
There's a line in one of J. Cole's songs where he says, Uncle Phil is the only father that I ever knew.
Right. And that's what a lot of children in these last couple of generations, they've been raised by the TV. And Phil Huxtable and what was the father? Oh, there's our call.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we keep losing you. Call right back. You hang up too quick. Whoever you are, call right back so we can get you on the air. You got something to say. But what was the father name? Phil?
You had Uncle Phil.
Yeah, Uncle Phil.
Philip Banks on Fresh Prince of
Banks.
Bel-Air. You
That's
have
his name.
people like Heathcliff Huxtable on the Bill Cosby Show.
Yeah.
You got people like James Evans on Good Times.
Right.
And the sad part is, in our community, there are a lot of people where that's literally the only father that they ever known, the only father figure that they've ever seen.
There's that caller again. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we don't want to lose him. Caller, where you keep going? But you let it ring for 2 times and hang up. You better stop that. Call back so we can get you. But what was you saying, cousin?
Oh, no, I'm just saying that, for many of them, that's the only father that they've ever known.
Right.
So imagine if you're a young man who have never known a father except the TV fathers, but now you're in fatherhood yourself.
Right.
And you're trying to figure it out on how to raise your child.
Right.
You don't have the manual. You haven't seen the example. So how do you figure this thing out?
Right. And that's why it's important that we read the Bible, because even if you are a father taking care of your children, or if you a person that doesn't know what to do, when you read the Bible, you see stories about how God interacted with people, and He gives you a kind of a manual of what to do as far as being there and taking up those responsibilities. So, and then we salute the mothers, because there's a lot of mothers that had to take on that role, not only because they were single mothers, but they might have been widows, mm-hmm. or their husband might have been injured, so they had to step up to the plate and be a father.
Absolutely.
So we salute the mothers that have played the father role and raised some great men.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that God has shown them favor and grace and taught them along the way, and sent men along the way to be mentors to their children. And we thank God for that. And then we thank God for the men that stepped up to the plate and became stepfathers, mm-hmm. In situations that they needed to do that. So it's a lot of different types of fathers.
Yeah. That father role is played by many.
Right. There's a lot of different types of fathers. So we thank God for each and every type of father. And it's just about raising a generation. A young man needs to see an example of what a man is, and a young lady needs to see an example with what a lady is, in order to grow and develop into the person that they are predestined and purposed to be. So that's why it's important that fathers are in the home. Matter of fact, I think that's one of the biggest tragedies of our community, mm-hmm. is that the fathers are not in the home.
For a number of reasons, Some you just have absent fathers, and others you have hard-working, dedicated fathers who are actually trying to provide for the family. So they have to work 12 hours a day, or they're working the afternoon shift or the midnight shift, and they don't get to have that presence in the home like they really want to.
That's right.
And the father is still needed, not just for young men and teaching them how to be a man, but that young lady is going to pick up what type of man she's interested in, or the things that mean a strong man to her from what she sees in her father.
That's good. And that's awesome that you said that. That's an awesome point. The young ladies are looking to the father to know how a man is supposed to be. Because how would they compare who they're dating if they haven't had a real man in their life?
Oh, so true. So true. And when the father is absent and you never had a man give you any signs of affection to ever tell you look pretty today, what happens is you get older and the first gentleman that comes by and tell you you're pretty or I think you're sexy, it sounds like the most amazing thing in the world, and then you fall for something that's not real.
Wow. So fathers, we can't drop the ball not only on our sons, but we cannot afford to drop the ball for our daughters, because they need to see what a strong man look like. And I tell my daughters, don't get a man that's struggling like your daddy. Get somebody that's rich already. If he can't buy your daddy a house, he ain't the man. He ain't the man. You got to train him up.
Yeah. Train him up, man. You pick up so much from your parents sometimes without even realizing it. I realize sometimes some of the things I do today, some of the moves that I make, I sit down at the end of the day and say, man, I picked that up from my dad. Never even knew that I was paying attention to some of the things he did until later on in life when I began to emulate the things that I saw from him subconsciously.
That's right.
For my psychology people, they call that conditioning.
And the same with myself, even in my preaching, and basically almost everything I do, I find myself acting like my dad and talking like my dad and being like my dad, because he has such a strong influence on my life, not only because he was a father, but he's a great man and a leader, and I love his style and the way he operates. So I find myself mimicking him, and that's the beauty, I believe, of having children, is not only are you able to be there for them and watch them grow and develop, but you're able to see a reflection of yourself.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good thing when you begin to see the things you're working on develop.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So and that's the first blessing, is having children. So when you have children, God, when God made Adam and Eve, He blessed them and told them to be fruitful and multiply. And that's why we got to watch this new movement, this new wave that's going on, that's creating environment that will not be able to procreate. And we got to watch it. I mean, things sound good, look good, or, it's in for the moment, but the future results of it might, bring the extinction of mankind as we know it. So, we got to watch it, because sometimes our feelings and emotions and things that we do to feel a certain way or to be a certain way can stop really what we were designed for.
Yes.
I'm treading lightly there. I hope I got the point across.
I get where you're going.
Yeah, we got to watch it. So, if you want to call in, the number 313-868-0342. We want to give you two reasons. Number one, if you want to give your father a shout out, we want to open the lines up for you to be able to do that. Or if you want to comment on what your thoughts is about what we're saying about fathers, we would love to hear from you. And whoever that was calling, please call back, and let it ring a couple of times before you hang up too quick. That's what's happening. So, cousin, as we're staying on the subject of fathers, I believe that a lot of people sometimes look to the wrong type of men to mimic as fathers. The music that is made nowadays, or even Hollywood, or movies people see, people that don't have a father in the home, they tend to emulate, like you were saying about the TV shows and the sitcom. We emulate the entertainment that we see.
Yes.
And that's my whole issue with successful artists. Yeah, you might have came in talking about one subject or one theme, but as you grow and mature and become successful at your craft, it seems to me that and I really see it, and I appreciate Denzel Washington, who tries to keep a moral standard even in his movies. And I believe that's important, because he understands the weight and the gravity of the young children that are watching him. And I think that's vital.
Very vital. A couple of things in the black community. the father is very, very important.
Yes.
You know, when we look at our community and what the father really means, and you look at what Denzel is trying to portray, we grew up where the man had to be strong.
Right.
Where within the community, it was a different dynamic than what the rest of the world was seeing, because it was almost like it was kill or be killed. It was a survival mode in a lot of the black communities, where that father had to play that strong role, because as a man you needed to know how to survive.
Right.
Because survival was literally key. And I think that's an important role. So I understood when Tyler Perry had his little tiff with Spike Lee, and Spike Lee was kind of shaming him for only wanting to play the ignorant black guy role,
Right.
In all of his movies, because they still need to see in this generation
Right.
images being portrayed of strong men.
That's right.
Because when they see that image, then they'll begin to emulate some of it. Now, there's other things that we can do within our own family to counteract some of that.
That's right.
It's more than just the father being in the home. Who is the father hanging around?
Wow.
What else are they picking up on? Because as children, sometimes we do emulate the other people we see.
That's
now,
right.
you and I were lucky. We had a family full of strong men.
Right.
And our family we were never light about getting together.
Right.
Whether it was Sunday afternoon service at your grandfather's church,
Right.
or it was a family picnic, you had all these various examples of what it meant to be a man.
That's right.
And because of that, you pick up different things from different people, and it goes a long way. So
And you said something when you said that it's not only important that the father's in the home, but it's also important that the father pick the right friends to bring around the home.
Yes.
Because when you said that, I reminisce in my past how I looked up to the neighborhood guys. My dad would tell me a lot of stuff, but it seemed like I heard other men clearer than my father. Now, later on in life, I heard my father.
Yeah.
But along the way, it seemed like what other people were saying was more important to me than what my father was saying. I don't know if it was because I was spoiled in the sense of having a father at the home, or it just that, because I had a father, I rather listen to others than him. Did that make sense?
it makes sense.
Okay.
But you notice, in every man that has grown from a boy to a man, especially when your father was present, you can admit there was that time when you were trying to develop into your own manhood.
Right.
You were trying to become you, where you begin to try to separate yourself from your dad.
Hold that thought. Caller, you on the air. We didn't want to lose you. What's your name?
Good morning. This is Sylvia. I
Hey.
wanted you to know that since Saturday, the show's been on Comcast 90, so we can watch you guys on TV. But there's still some type of technical difficulties where you're flashing on and off, where the screen is going on and off, or you're just freezing in midair. So that the technicians can maybe on their end see if it's their end or if it's Comcast Channel 90. But I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to all those who stood and stand. They cared, they shared, they protect, and they direct. And I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all those who have been the greatest and the most responsible fathers that the community and families needed at the time that they needed them. And I just wish them well and to continue the favor and the greatness that's already within them. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Caller, you on the air? What's your name? Oh, we lost you again. Whoever caller that was, we tried to click on you. Call right back because we want to hear from you too. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for your call. And thank you for joining us, our Comcast family, Channel 90. We're back on your channel. So you might be experiencing a little technical difficulty, and that's just because we just got back with the family of Comcast. So work with us and have patience, and we'll be all right in the upcoming days. But we're so glad to be back on board on Comcast, and God has been blessing us to expand our horizon here at TV 33, and all the platforms that we are on is just amazing. When God told us to come on this channel, this is the reason why, because Mr. R.J. Watkins has done a phenomenal job with this station. I want to catch this caller. Caller, we got you. What's your name? Oh, you keep hanging up. We're going to fight. Call back again. I don't know who you are, but you got to stop hanging up so quick so we can hear from you. I just appreciate each and every one of you who are listening to us, who are watching us, and taking out the time to hear from us here at an Earful, because that's what our mission is to reach you. So caller, whoever that was, call on back so we can hear from you. And we thank you once again to all of our listeners, wherever you're listening to us from. Is it Roku or Fire Stick or YouTube or live on TV 33 or Channel 90 on Comcast Cable? We just thank God for all of you who are watching us. So if you on YouTube, look, share it. Put it on your Facebook page, put it on your Instagram page, so that more people can be exposed to An Earful and hear the great things that we're talking about and the great people that we're bringing on and exposing what they're doing in the hood. We call it the good in the hood. Do you remember where we was at? You talking about that?
I mean, I think we were talking about that phase, when you got a caller coming in.
Okay, maybe that's them. Caller, you on the air? Hello? Hello? You gonna say something? Caller, can you hear us? All right. Now you're gonna call and be silent, huh? You still there? Can we hear him, engineer? No, they're not talking? You gonna say something to us? All right, now I'm about to start charging for TV time. Okay. Listen, all the callers, when you call, be prepared to say something because we want to hear from you what you got to say. Amen. We're excited. All right. Well, let's get back to our subject. We're talking about fathers.
Yeah, I mean, being a father is not easy.
Right.
You think about it because you're trying to raise a child. You have certain things that you want to pour into them. There's certain disciplines, there's certain ethics and morals that you want your child to absolutely pick up. But at the same time, you don't want to limit them to just you.
That's right. Hold that thought. Caller, you here? Caller, you on the air? Can we get your name? All right, I'm not playing with you no more. You're right, though.
Yeah, but think about it. You want them to grow, to be their own man, to be their own woman, to figure some things out for themselves. You don't want to limit them to just what you've done and what you've seen, because oftentimes God's plan is bigger than that.
That's right.
You never know what he's going to do. Around Christmas time, one of my favorite songs is Mary, Did You Know?
Right.
And it made me reflect a lot on parenthood, because Mary knew she was carrying and she birthed the Son of God.
Wow.
But did she really know what all he was going to do?
Right.
Did she know he was going to walk on water? Did she know he was going to give sight to the blind?
Right.
And many of us, our parents don't know all the good things that God has in store.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to be a parent because you want to shape them so much, but at the same time, you got to let them blossom and bloom.
Wow.
And you as a father can probably speak to that more.
That's right, because, as a father, you have in mind what you think a child should do. Just like we have in mind this person should talk to us. Welcome, you online. Are you going to say something today?
I think somebody's messing with you, man.
Amen. Listen, that might be what it is, huh? Well, happy Father's Day to you, too, whoever you are. But as a father, you want to instill in your children the best discipline so that they won't go through what you've been through. But at the same time, you have to allow them to experience a level of pain because it took that to make you who you were.
Right.
And I think a lot of children, matter of fact, I see a lady at my job, she's a grandmother, and I think she's overprotective of her grandchild and is weakening him.
Yes.
And in this generation, a lot of women are forced in father positions, and they overdo it in certain areas, and they cripple the man in their son or grandchild, not on purpose, I don't think, but the overprotection that the mother gives, because she's a nurturer and she's a protector, so she wants to keep, when a son, when a little girl falls on the ground, you want to run and help them, but when when your son fall on the ground, you want him to get up for himself. Right. But a woman, of course, she's a nurturer and a protector. She wants to run and grab him and console him, but that weakens him. Yes. He needs to feel that pain because, as a young boy, and if you ever raised a boy, they going to find some more pain. They find something to run into. They find something to hurt themselves with. You be like, how did you do that? It is just something about us men. We need to go through stuff in order to become who we are.
You have to go through adversity. You have to go through adversity, As a former athlete, you realize that you never got strong by sitting still.
Right.
You had to do push-ups, and sometimes the pain hurts when you get through it. But it's without that pain, you don't get the strength.
Right.
And how do you know what you can really accomplish if you never hit that, if you never hit that mall, if you never hit that max, if you never had that trial? That's where you learn confidence from. To try the next thing, to do the next thing, to keep pushing. And it has to be there.
Right. And that's why it's important that we go back to whoopings as parents. I know we want to put them on punishment, and we want to put them on timeout, and we want to take their phone, and we want to take their TV and stuff like that. But there's no better discipline than a spanking on the behind or the posterior. Not a beat down. Don't ball your fists and punch them or slap them. No, you need to get a belt or a weapon of choice. And
not a weapon, not a weapon.
Well, they
A
feel
tool.
like
Let's
weapons.
call it a tool.
Yes, tool. That's a better word, right? A tool of choice. And apply the discipline, because that's what men need. Now, girls can be yelled at, they can be punished, but men, young men, they need a whooping. And guess what? Everybody that disagreeing and shaking your head right now, you're only doing it because you got whooped. You don't want to whoop your kids, but guess what? That whooping saved your life.
It saved mine.
For real.
I can contest to it. I'm a product of a parent who did not spare the rod. Now, my dad, I can count on one hand how many times he had to actually chastise me. But I can tell you this, there was many times where I was doing something outside the home, out in the streets, that I knew I should not have been doing.
Right.
And it was that thought that if I get caught, I have to go back home to face him.
Oh, yeah.
That made me change my course.
Yeah, these kids don't know about walking around the block one more time because you wasn't ready to go home. Or standing at your friend's house crying like, I don't want to go home, I don't want to go home. Because, you know, the parents back then took discipline serious. I'm talking about from a belt to an extension cord to a frying pan, you know, whatever they could grab, a shoe, come on, they would use it to straighten you out.
What by any means necessary.
And then guess what? It straightened you out.
Yes.
Not only did you correct whatever wrong you was doing, your attitude was corrected. Come on, you cleaned the house.
Yes.
My mama knew when I was in trouble because she came home, I didn't wash the dishes, mop the floor. You know, I did stuff that she didn't even have to ask me to do. You know, because I knew that I messed up.
Yes.
And that discipline that either was coming or that I received caused me to do right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to cause you to do right. There's a reason why it needs to happen in the home. Because the consequences of making those mistakes outside the home sometime can be life-altering.
Yes.
At home, you get caught with disrespect. If mama spank you, you go to bed for the night or go to your room. Outside the home, you get caught with disrespect. The next person outside your house might not treat you the same.
That's right.
It might become with, you know, a session of the hands where somebody might decide to put their fist in your mouth.
That's right.
Because you said something that they perceived as disrespect.
That's right.
But you learned it first in the home on how to talk to people.
That's right.
And how to treat people with respect.
That's right.
And the same thing goes, I mean, we talk about it, we say it in our African-American colloquialisms. We say it's in the hood.
Right.
But even when you get to the workforce.
That's right.
When you want to talk about being in that professional setting. Disrespect can have consequences. You can lose a customer. You can lose your job. I mean, there's a lot of ways it go.
That's a lot of ways it go. Caller, you on the air? Caller, you on the air? Keep losing you. Oh, I'm not even going to push that button no more. You're getting on my nerves.
I think line 3 is a bad line.
It's a bad line. But you're so right. It helps steer the person, be it a young lady or young man. It helps steer them in the right direction later on in life.
Yes.
And there's no one in our generation or the generation before us that got disciplined like us that wasn't better because of it.
Right.
But it's a whole generation of men and women that did not get the type of discipline we receive, and it's very you can see it clear. In today's society, how people interact with each other,
Yes.
how people disrespect the elderly. I'm talking about we was thugs and hard and all that kind of stuff, but we respected the elders.
Yes.
I remember cussing all in the back of the bus or the city bus, and when the elder person said, "Hey, y'all cut that out," we would shut up.
Right.
But don't do that now. You're going to get jumped on.
Yeah. They'd be ready to jump all on you.
Yeah. They'll jump on you, beat you down. Because they're used to talking smack around older people.
Yes.
And when we was growing up, you couldn't sit in the face of older people. You had to go in the other room, or you had to go outside, or you had to go downstairs.
Get out of grown folks'
right,
face.
Get out of grown folks' face. Get out of our mouths. That's what you say.
Oh, yeah.
And we wanted to know the gossip, the tea, as they call it, like everybody else, but we couldn't hear it.
Right.
That wasn't our place.
No, it wasn't.
And now you got kids out of place, and that's why we all out of whack.
And what happens is with some of those mistakes, with them just now allowing kids to sit in the room, they get exposed to some things that they're not ready for.
That's right.
They're not ready for. So then they begin talking with their friends about some stuff that they don't have the mental capacity to even handle yet.
That's right. That's
And
right.
there's a reason why that they shouldn't be exposed to certain things. Because if you start hearing parents talk about things that adults do, we talking about adults together,
That's right.
behind closed doors type of things.
That's right.
And they start talking about it with their friends, and they want to start experimenting at a young age.
That's right. And not just that, that's also what helped usher in the breakdown of the family.
Yes.
Because of the lack of, when you hear certain conversations that you shouldn't hear, then it caused you to look at the adults a different way.
Correct.
Because now you have received the knowledge and the revelation that you didn't know before.
Right.
And now you see how the adults really feel about each other, or how they speak on each other, and then that causes you to alter your perspective
Right.
of that adult, either an auntie or uncle or a father or a mother.
Right.
And that's why it's so vital that we begin, and especially the young parents, that when you arguing with your spouse, or that you don't do that in front of the kids, and,
Right.
or you talking about your mama or your cousins, that are adults, that we don't say that in front of our kids, because that is passed down, that disrespect that you may have, and it may not be a disrespect you may have. You may just be in your feelings at that moment.
At the moment,
but
just
it will
venting.
breed disrespect in the children's.
Oh, yes.
Because they're hearing how you really feel.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that make sense to y'all?
I mean, think about it. Imagine hearing your mother talk bad about her brother.
Right.
Now, she may just be venting because of whatever situation they having at the time, but the kid doesn't understand it.
Right.
And now the next time the kid has an interaction with the mother's brother, they feel some type of way.
Right.
And they begin to alter their view and opinion on that uncle.
Right.
And it's not even really a view or opinion of the mother. It was just a vent session.
Right. And then now I'm taking that to school, because now I realize all adults ain't all that, because my uncle or so-and-so situation that I heard my mom or my daddy talk about. So now I'm looking at the teacher different. I'm talking to the teacher sideways.
The world has been shook.
Then I'm taking it to the workplace.
Oh, yes.
Now I'm not respecting my supervisor. I'm not respecting my manager, because I don't respect no adults, because the perspective that I've been exposed to has caused me to think that adults are on the same plane as I am.
Right, and they're not.
And they're not.
No. And with that being said, because there's a lot of broken homes, we're not going to call them broken homes. There's a lot of homes where mom and dad aren't together anymore.
Right.
And whenever you're dealing with the step philosophy, where the mom is gone, you got a stepfather, stepdad, but the parents aren't together.
Right.
There's going to be times where you're co-parenting, but you're not together, and you're going to vent about that other parent.
Yeah.
Be careful about what you're venting about that other parent around that child.
Right.
Because that child can pick up some stuff and start to think that mom is useless, or that dad is not bringing anything to the table, and that may not be the case at all.
right.
You're just venting. You don't want to plant those seeds into your child.
That's right. And that's an earful. And all we're trying to do is help guide us along the way on this Father's Day, and to bring the family back where it's supposed to be. We can overcome. And the crazy thing is, a lot of relationships are ending today over frivolous, petty stuff. When back in the day, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, they went through hell in relationships. But they stayed.
Absolutely.
And respected their husband in that mess, and the children didn't even know nothing about what was really going on behind the scenes.
Nothing.
And that's why generations before us was able to rise up and be inventors, to be good workers, to be part of politics, and expand their horizons, because they wasn't limited or closed down or fenced in with the opinions of the adults around them.
No. And a lot of them, they endured a lot, but they had thick skin.
Yes.
And then you wonder why they could, outside the house, take so much adversity and keep pushing.
Right.
Because they were used to it. Today's society, we're a little bit different.
Right.
We're more of a right here, right now type
Right.
of society.
Right.
You know, everything needs to always be good vibes, and everything needs to always be in the honeymoon phase. And you, as a married man, can contest to it that sometimes with your spouse, she ain't my wife today. She's just that woman.
What's today? So today,
Don't do that. You still love her now.
now, and that's so true. But it's me and her protecting our children from arguments and different things that will keep their perspective of the both of us.
Yes.
You know, I never talk negative about my wife to my children. That's not proper.
Right.
And she doesn't do that to my children because that's not proper. And we got to get back to that. It's called respect. And when we begin to do that, then a lot of things that we fall apart on, we'll find that they're not that serious.
Right.
And we can stick and stay a lot longer if we do some common sense things. Some house cleaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Open communication is always the key.
Always the key.
Communication is the key. It's one of those philosophies that extend across every relationship. Whether it's you and your best friend, it's you and your family, it's you and your kids, you and your wife, you still have to know how to have open communication.
That's right.
And sometimes you have to have those more candid conversations.
That's right. And we got to celebrate the fathers that are doing their job. You know, as a father, I don't need nobody to pat me on the back for providing for my family or protecting my family. I do that out of love. I do that like breathing.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's good to hear that you appreciate it. It's good to hear that it's being noticed. And not just from your wife or your children, but from society.
Yes.
You know, society downplays fathers.
Oh, yes.
And I think on purpose, especially in the black community, because that keeps, you know, the community at large down, because the father is the rock, the father is the foundation. But if the man is not feeling appreciative, then he's not going to stick around. You know, we're made in God's image and His likeness. We like to be praised. Like Tory Banks that came on a couple of shows ago, and she was telling us how important that the wife praises the husband.
Yes.
Because that honor he receives causes him to do even more.
Right.
And on the flip side of that coin, when you don't praise and honor your husband or your children's father, then that causes him to shell up and do less. So you want to get more out of your man, you want to get more out of your husband, praise him, thank him, appreciate him, and watch that become wind under his wings.
Yeah, you still have to celebrate him. He still likes his ego stroke. He still wants to know that he's doing good. He needs some confirmation.
That's right.
He might not be the type that want to hear it all day, every day, but it's still needed at some point.
That's right.
And too many times our relationships suffer from love that we have on the inside but never said.
Wow. And that goes across the board, not just with husband and wife, but all of us need to really celebrate each other and love on each other more. You know, it's time out for when we have funerals that we want to just love on each other, and we didn't express that to that individual while they was alive.
Right.
You know, I've been in a lot of funerals where, you know, you didn't even know that individual knew this many people and the love that they had, and then you ask yourself, well, did they know that they was loved like this? And you know, me for one, I don't want to be dead to be loved.
Love me now.
Love me now. Let me know you love me.
I
Tell
can't
me.
feel it when I'm dead.
I tell you I love you today, cousin.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, tell me now that you love me. And that's an earful. And that's what this show is about. We want to encourage you. Listen, what the world needs now is love. What fathers need now is love. You know, if you, especially you have a father that's working and providing, and he's out in the world. You know, especially as a black man, you know, it's hard for a black man in every area of life. So we can't make it even harder by the thing that he should love the most, and that's coming home.
Yes.
You know, he should be comfortable there. He should be loved there. He should be king there. We got to go back to putting the father back on the throne, because that's where he belongs. And that's an earful.
Yeah,
that's an earful. Well, we're going to take a small commercial break, and we're going to come right back and get right back into this conversation, because guess what? It's Father's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day
Father's
to
Day,
all of
y'all.
the fathers. We salute you. We're going to take a small commercial break. Me and my cousin Sam will be right back.
Father, Father, Father,
Happy Father's Day from the entire TV33 and WHPR family. Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
And we're back live right here on An Earful with my cousin Samuel Tillman. He's been sharing with us all day. He come all the way from Saginaw just to chill with us here on An Earful, and we thank God for him. He's such an awesome man. You need to Google him, look him up on Instagram. What's your handle on Instagram?
My Instagram is Sam_TIL.
Okay, and then Facebook?
Samuel Tillman, TILMON.
That's what's up. And Samuel is looking for a beautiful lady. So if you're looking for a handsome man that's on top of his game, this is the man for you. So we taking calls? No, I'm just playing.
Call us where you at. Oh, man, I feel lonely. It's empty.
They looking at you, Doc. They looking at you. Well, let's get back on, because it's Father's Day. We're talking about Father's Day. And,
Shout out to the fathers.
Shout out to the fathers. And we're praying for you. If this is your first Father's Day without your father, you know, our prayers go out to you. We're
Most
praying
definitely.
for you. Or if you've been, a couple of years without your father, and the pain never goes away. And we're still praying for you, and we have you in our prayers and thoughts. And we're praying for the children that are growing up without a father, and we pray for the strength of the mothers that's having to play both roles. You know, we shout you out, and we acknowledge you also. And I know a lot of people be saying, to the ladies, well, it's not your day. Well, some ladies, it is your day. So to those ladies, we say we salute you also, and we thank God for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I got a question for
Okay.
you. Me being a young man looking up to my big cousin, I look for things that I can use as like a guiding path,
Okay.
my role model. So as a father, if you had to say there were certain, like your top lessons that you want your son to have instilled in him, to pick up from him, what would those be?
Good question. Well, first of all, reading your Bible. I really push that on my children because I learned, from my father. I don't think he even know it. I remember always waking up. He used to get up real early in the morning, and he used to have this certain light on his desk. And he would always, and I would go, to the bathroom. You know how you first wake up, you got to go to the bathroom. And I would walk past his room, and I would see him at his desk reading his Bible. And they had a certain green fluorescent light that he would use. Or I would see him down on the dining room table reading his Bible. And I believe that that image never left me, and it caused me to read my Bible. And then when I understood the importance of it, I haven't stopped reading. So that's the one thing I would tell my son, to read his Bible. Second thing I would tell him is, how would I say this? Don't rush. In life, things are going to happen in this time.
Right.
So enjoy where you are.
Right.
I know when I was growing up, I wanted to be grown so bad that I didn't have a childhood. Because I rushed through my childhood trying to be grown instead of enjoying where I was at, knowing one day I'm going to be grown. Grown is coming. All I had to do is stay alive, wake up, and I will be grown.
Hey, listen, as a grown man, now I look back and say, hey, I was wrong. I don't want to be grown.
I don't
want these responsibilities. Can I be a kid again?
And that's why that's one of those key things that I tell my kids. Hey, listen, your time is going to come.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick you out the house at 18. Don't worry about it. You're going to be grown.
I hope y'all heard that. 18, y'all gone.
No, I've been fashioning them since they was little kids. When they first learned how to talk, I told them, like, all right, time is ticking. No, but I do want to instill in them, don't rush.
Yes.
Enjoy the moment.
Yes.
Enjoy where you are. And then I would tell them to, and I tell them this all the time, almost every day when I take them to school, is to protect your reputation.
Yes.
That's something that I didn't value growing up. I didn't care what people thought about me. I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And it wasn't until I got grown and had a tarnished reputation that I wish that I had protected it.
Right.
So that's one thing that I really pushed for them to protect your reputation. Because, yes, we want to do what we want to do, but we can't. So,
Correct.
That's a couple of the things I would tell them.
Okay. That's some good stuff, man. That idea of protecting your reputation is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
And the philosophy behind that extends in multiple ways.
Yes.
Because when you say protect your reputation, that has to do with what your name is.
That's right.
What is your name worth?
That's
What
right.
do people know you as? What do they know you for?
That's right.
And that goes from you to your parents. Do your parents trust that you're going to do the things that they've asked for you to do? Or it's to your friends. Do your friends know that you are the truthful one, or are you the lying one?
That's
are you
right.
the one who always want to party and turn up, or are you the conservative one? And if we take it outside of that, I mean, that same philosophy goes to the business world. We'd
That's
ask you, what's your brand?
That's right.
What do people know your company as?
That's right.
What is your company known for?
That's right.
And that's an important thing that I think sometimes we lack. And for you as a parent, it has to be hard with that idea in your kids today, because so much more of what they do is exposed to the world.
Man, and that's another thing. I'm glad you just said that. If there were one more thing I could add to that, is I try to help them understand the discipline
Yes.
they have to have with social media.
Yes.
What was the judge? I know I'm gonna mess his name up. Kakervin, the judge that almost didn't get nominated.
Are you talking about the one that had to go before Congress?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
But he was. What'd you say? Kavanaugh. Thank you, son. That's my
Yes.
son. Kavanaugh, Judge Kavanaugh. He taught us well.
Yes.
That they went back to 30 years ago.
Yes.
To when he was in high school drinking beers with the boys. We remember that part. Huh? And they brought it up.
They did bring it up.
Now, when he's trying to go to another level in his life, they brought up his past.
Right.
And that's where he went. That's where I want to protect my children from, where they don't have any skeletons in the closet. Because right now, as a teenager, it seems like you got a lot of life. But man, that time is coming quick, and it's what you do today that can bite you in the butt tomorrow.
Correct.
So yeah, that's one of the
But with
things
that, there's probably two things with that. Number one, some of us have passed.
Right.
We have done some things that we may not be so proud of. We may have done some things that is not who we are today.
That's right.
You can't let your past dictate your now or your future.
That's so right.
Like, if you want to bring it biblically, everybody that God used, all the major people in the Bible that he used had a past.
That's right.
But he still found a purpose for them at that moment, and for us moving forward, for those of us who look back at them now. So if you have something in your past, don't let that dictate where you are now or where you're going to go.
That's right. And that's an earful. And that's why it's so important that in our parenting processes that we include the importance of protecting, teaching our children to protect their reputation so they don't have that stigma along the way or get it along the way. So that's part of parenting.
Yes.
It's telling your children, listen, you can't just do anything.
Right.
Because when you want to do something, you won't be able to do nothing.
Correct.
Because of the anything you was doing when you weren't supposed to be doing it. And that's an earful. So protect your children, especially when it comes to these phones, man. I tried my hardest to keep my children from phones as long as I could because they need to learn how to live without social media.
Yes.
Learn how to be disciplined without grabbing the phone or going to the phone. I remember growing up, we remembered, 40, 50, 60 numbers, telephone numbers.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in my brain. I didn't have
Your
write it
mind
down.
was the Rolodex.
I didn't even have a Rolodex because I used to get them and then lose them. So I You could tell me your phone number, and I could remember. I had everybody's number in my brain at any given time. I could pull it up and remember it. And now you could tell me your number as soon as I turn around. If I don't put it in my phone, I don't even remember your name. What would you say? Well, who was that?
Yeah.
It's crippled us. So I try and I employ people everywhere to discipline your children. I know society said your children need a phone, but do they really? We didn't need a phone.
No.
You know, we didn't need. I believe 15, 16 years old is the years that maybe they can start having a phone because now they have had years of living without it, so they're not clinging to it like children are today. You take a kid phone today, they'll commit suicide. They'll jump off the roof. You know
Yeah, they'll go crazy.
Yeah,
but
they'll go crazy,
It's amazing because some of it is what I call lazy parenting.
Right.
Back in the day when you didn't have phones, you had to interact with your kids. You guys together were the entertainment. You talked to them. And that was the interaction. Now we can do it as lazy parenting because if I just hand you my tablet and say, watch your cartoon, I can go do whatever I want to do and not pay attention to you.
That's right.
Now, we learned from recent events that that's not always the good thing because then you end up stuff with, what was the character on kids' YouTube, Momo or something?
Yeah.
And parents didn't know what their kids were watching. So parents, still be active, still be involved. Know what your kids are watching on TV. I still remember growing up, my parents wouldn't let us watch Simpsons in the house.
Yeah, we couldn't watch it either.
I thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
Until I got grown and I realized that the Simpsons were exposing me to some things that I wasn't ready for.
That's right. That's right. Well, I wish we had more time. I thank you so much for stopping by today, cousin.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I really appreciate you and the insight that you gave us. You gave us an earful, and that's what it's all about. And I thank you, and we're going to bring you back.
Oh, man.
So we can
Thank you.
hear some more from you, okay? But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on An Earful. And I'm your host, Lemuel Appling. And we're back live right here on An Earful. Listen, I'm telling you, I love you, and I thank God for each and every one of you that stuck and stayed with us throughout this show, and I pray that we helped and share something with you to encourage you along the way. The father role is very significant and very important in the home, and we salute all fathers who are taking it upon themselves to do their duty. And that's raising your children. And we asking mothers, especially in the black community, come on, y'all. Let's begin to be mothers. Let's begin to protect the role of the father in the home because it's more than just financial support. We need moral support, spiritual support in the home that helps grow and develop the children into the adults that not only you can be proud of as a parent, but society can benefit from, and that's what it's about. Well, when was the last time you found yourself in this position? Reading your Bible. Yes, we got to read our word. I'm telling you, this thing is juicy. It has all type of drama and suspense, murder and sex. I'm telling you, reading your Bible is not a boring thing. No, it's interesting. And you don't have to read the King James Version. They have the Message version. They have the New King James Version. They have today's vernacular and translated in today's language. So, you know, I think that's what makes it boring when you read the thee, the thou, and the thou, and you're trying to understand it because we don't speak that language. So God is so awesome in his wisdom that he allowed them to translate it into up-to-date version. And guess what? Don't believe the lie that, you know, the story was lost in the translation, because that's not true. God knows exactly what he's doing. And if you read the Bible, you will know for yourself that that's not true. So remember, our mantra is God is with us, God is for us, God is in us. That's what we say. God is with us, God is for us, God is in us. So if you're going through anything, immediately stop and say, God is with me, God is for me, God is in me. And I'm telling you, man, that will empower you to go through whatever you're going through, to stand against whatever's coming against you, and knowing that you're not alone. Well, each and every Sunday, we're right here, same time, same channel for you on An Earful. We invite you to come back next week and hear what we've got going on. Well, remember, we want to hear from you, the good in the hood. So give us a call next week when you can tell us what's going on. We thank you so much for sticking and staying and watching us. We see you next week, same time, same channel on An Earful with your host, Lemuel Apling. See you next week.